Ready?
And let's go.
And now it's time for Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots with your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
Alrighty, guys, here we go again. We've been idiots all day long, so we're in a little bit of a giggly mood.
Yeah, we got a new table set up today, and it showed up, and it was like putting together baby furniture. Everything came together in like a box the size of a laptop, and we had to put it all together. But no, it's a good addition. We've got space for the cables. It's a little bit taller.
It came out nice.
Yeah, it's a good, nice little setup. A little plastic piece here where it's high wear for our hands and stuff are going, and then what on the sides. Yeah, it's a good little setup for us. So, you know, we're trying to adjust things as we go along and find things that work better for us. And this is definitely a good addition for us for this for the podcast for sure.
I mean,
is it not taping?
It's everything's recording.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, we were having issues with that too.
Gosh,
we've
been idiots today.
It's just been a day. Actually, the last couple times we've had some camera issues and whatever, but that's just growing pains. We'll eventually get it all right.
Yeah, no, we won't.
Probably not.
And that's
You're
the
right.
joy. But that's the joy of it. You know, we have a good time with it, even though we screw things up here and there. And we're just regular dudes. We're not professionals. We don't have a professional sound guy, a professional mixer, a professional videographer.
Professional-ish. This thing's professional-ish.
No, I'm saying like an actual mixer guy who's doing the mixing.
Oh, like a producer?
An audio producer. No, yeah. You are our professional, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Terrible.
And you do the video editing for now, so that's good.
I mean, I do things.
Yeah,
I work
we
on
get stuff put
stuff
together.
for the podcast.
Yeah.
So, but eventually, you know, we'll have someone doing this.
Yeah, this portion of it.
Because it is kind of a pain to be mixing things around, doing things, and
well, usually, luckily, with it's just you and me. Usually, when we're conversating, how'd you like that? You know, new usage of conversate,
learning new words.
But it's nice that like with us conversating that we are both like once we set our levels, we're usually pretty good on keeping our voices at around the same timbre.
Ooh, look at you
like that.
using big words now.
Yeah, I use big words every week. Or
fancy words.
Fancy
I don't know about big
schmancy.
words.
No, now timber's really like not that many letters. It's 5 letters.
That's true. Like timber.
6. Damn. 6. I can't count either. I can use big words, but I can't countersate.
Good thing we don't need to use counting at work.
No, just a general guess.
That looks like
Close enough.
Probably. Yeah. There's about 10 people there. Yeah. That's fine.
So my beard is starting to grow back in now. You know, no more trouble for me. No more interviews. So
Yet.
Yeah, but it's growing back in for right now, so that's good. So
Hey, at least next time, as long as you're shaving for a good reason, for interviews, whatever it may be, then we're
not
good.
being in trouble.
Yeah,
Not for opening my mouth.
That's kind of what we do, though.
Oh yeah. My STFU gene doesn't work well.
Yeah. Well, plus we've already noticed neither one of us have that survival instinct.
No. I'm a year from retirement. Just send it. By the time the investigation's over, I can retire anyway.
Yeah.
No, we never say things that are that bad. It's just we might disagree with people here and there, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of things to disagree with.
Yeah, well,
but what can you?
We could have a whole podcast just on our disagreements at work, but we're not going to talk about that. This is our fun time.
Yeah, this is our fun time. Although, since we didn't have our lunch today.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. I had a morning breakfast with some teachers in the area. So they do a teacher breakfast every year. Every year in the morning of the last day of school, they do a teacher breakfast. And I meet up actually with the group of the teachers that have taught both my kids. And we have a nice little breakfast, little mimosas in the morning. And then they go in for their meeting in the early afternoon, and then they're done for the day. So I get invited to it, so it's kind of cool to see everybody. You didn't get invited, but
you get invited to it, or you crash the party?
Yes. So like I get there and everyone's like, "Oh, who are you?" And then I tell them who I am. Like, "Oh, I'm so and so, and so and so's dad." They're all like, "Oh, that makes sense."
No wonder he's so big.
Yeah. They're like, "Yeah, okay, we get that now."
Yeah.
But they all like him, and I get along with everybody there. I play golf with 3 of the teachers in a scramble tournament most of the time. So when we do our tournaments, I play golf with them. And 2 of them actually want to come onto the podcast one of these days. So we're going to try to get them on
one
here.
day we'll have them.
We'll have a golf cast one of those
golf
days
cast.
about a funny
I'm sure we won't
tournament
talk
stuff.
that much about golf, to be
no,
honest.
we'll just laugh about everything else because
even while we're golfing, we don't really talk about golf.
yeah. So the main guy that I hang out with is called Steve, and so his nickname's Scuba Steve. So we call him Scuba Steve. And you've played golf with Scuba Steve.
Yeah.
Is he not one of the funnest individuals on the planet?
He is fun. We had a good time.
Like when I do my little effed up things that screw up on the golf course and just joke about it, he just laughs nonstop. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think on one of them I said, "I'm just going to go kick a baby." Like,
Yeah, I remember that.
oh, I messed up. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm just going to go kick a baby." And everyone burst out laughing. They're like, "Where does that come from?"
You
I'm
were
like,
like
I don't know.
across the way, too.
Oh, like it was, yeah. There was like, yeah, it was bad. But that's my golf game.
The fact that everyone was able to hear you say that must have been bad. Mm-hmm. I don't even know where your ball went that time.
And those are the guys I played with when I took out the tee box on the two holes in a row, and then the sign, and then had a great shot on the next one and put it in the hole. And they're like, "Where was that one?" So these are the guys I hang out with. I hang out with teachers. I hang out with everybody.
But then again, that's actually golf. That's what keeps everyone coming back.
Oh my God, yeah. The one good shot, because those ones the ones I hit off the tee box were hilarious.
Yeah.
So I mean, we had fun either way. At that point, it was just like, whatever.
Yeah, you still have a good time regardless.
Yeah.
Even if you're having a bad time.
Yep.
Like
It's
golfing,
still a good time. It's
You're still
golf.
having a good time. But it's that one shot. And that's all you need is one shot per round that keeps you coming back.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was funny. I mean, these guys are great. So we'll have them on. Scuba Steve wants to jump on one of these days.
And actually, I had seen a quote about golf, about that whole thing we're talking about, where it's that one shot. It's the glimpse of greatness.
Oh, okay.
So, unlike any other sport.
So I have to ask, did that come with new keys or is it a sticker?
No, it's vinyl. It's vinyl that goes over the top of everything.
Oh, okay.
They're like vinyl stickers, pretty much.
Okay.
Protective stuff. It keeps everything, because on these the keyboard,
Yeah.
like even though you clean it, they still get
Stuff.
discolored from the oils in your skin.
Yeah.
And you can't get it off for some
So it's
reason.
a vinyl protective cover. So he's got a Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots cover on the on our company laptop. So I was just asking because I was like, man, it's really cool. And like, that's actually, I might want to. That's really cool. I like it. So I'm sure on the camera you'll be able to see it a little bit.
Yeah, you'll
so
probably
we'll
see a little bit of it. And
We'll make sure you can see it.
You'll see this part back here,
Yep.
definitely.
And then we got some Sketchy Alias stickers here. One of our sponsors, as always. Sketchy Alias is a bad mofo. Good
He
dude.
really is. But I'm trying to see if I can find that quote. But it's true, and it was a professional golfer that said it, and it's the God's honest truth.
Probably John Daly, because that dude's awesome.
No, it might have been someone that I'm not a huge
Daly?
fan of. It might have been Rory.
Okay, well, I love Daly. Like, Daly's
Oh,
like the
yeah,
coolest
absolutely.
mofo on the planet. He is just a good dude. And I know people that said they don't like him, but I like the fact he's just a normal dude.
Oh yeah, he's the epitome of why people golf. People like us golf, because you have somebody that his warm up was he'd go out, have a few cigarettes, a beer,
And then go hit the
and
ball
and
like
then just go.
350 yards.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I hit about 150 straight. Like, if you count my slice and everything else, it's like 600 yards.
Oh yeah. For going around the corner.
Oh, and of course I get sick because I shaved my beard off.
You
All
didn't,
of a sudden,
you didn't have those
I didn't
protective
have the
layers.
filter. I didn't have the protective filter to protect me at work.
See, I'm having trouble finding it, but essentially that whole quote was, like, unlike any other sport,
Yeah.
you end up getting these glimpses of greatness. You hit that one phenomenal shot that, a professional would hit.
Yeah.
You land it real close, you get a good amount of spin on it, you get it right there, or you chip one in,
Yep.
50, 60 yards out, 100 yards out, you
Yep.
chip one in, something. And there's no other sport that you have that.
No.
Yeah, you play basketball, maybe you pull off some crazy
Yeah.
shot or whatever, but it's not, you could really do that. It was luck. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And granted, golf, it ends up being luck a little bit too.
But you know, like every time I've hit that great shot, when you hit it, as soon as you feel that contact with the club, you're like, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Because I've had ones where I'm like, hey, I'm going to just club down. I'm going to club up because there's no way I'm going to hit it good. Mm-hmm. And then you club it up and you freaking hit it, the crap out of it. And you launch it over the green. You're like, it was such a pure shot. And I'm not even mad that I overshot the green because it felt such good.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, like when you hit them right, you don't even feel it.
No.
Like it just goes.
It's just that perfect feeling.
Yep.
You catch just enough turf.
Yep. It's kind of like the perfect view that you have. Like when you have that perfect view and you know you've got it.
Yeah.
Like when you see me in the morning when you come into work, you look at me and you're like, oh, that's the perfect view. And I say, yep. And I want to punch you in the face because you're wearing a cowboy hat.
Yes. Actually, now that I've been thinking about it, I may be retiring the cowboy hat for a little bit.
Really?
Especially because it's getting hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no. Well, and you want to ride the bike in more to work. And
yeah.
Same thing. I'm going to be riding the bike all the time. So my new suspension is in. I know we had talked about it. Ended up getting delivered a little bit late. I'm going to try to get it in probably the next day or two. I'm going to try. So by next week's podcast, I should have
hopefully
next week or the week after, I'll have a good review for it because I'm not going to review it until I've ridden it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Your
review is basically going to be like, these are awesome.
Yeah, or my back doesn't feel broken anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I know I talked to you guys on the last podcast that I messed my back up because I'm getting old. It's actually finally, it took, almost 3 weeks now at this point to get better. 2.5, 3 weeks to get better.
But, I mean, it's part of the whole experience anyways. Yeah, I mean, that too. It's part of the whole experience. Experiencing the ride, and then all of a sudden you have that one moment and you're just like, oh crap.
Oh, it was terrible. There's very few times where I've hit something where like that happened to me once going to Chicago.
Having some issues over there?
No, I'm doing something stupid. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're just fidgeting?
Going to Chicago one time.
To fidget with.
I know, I need a fidget spinner. So, when we rode to Chicago 2 years ago, we were driving through St. Louis, and I hit a pothole that was like, when I went into it, like...
The bike disappeared?
Yeah, I thought I ended up in Chongqing, China. Like, I mean, it was just like, it was that deep of a hole. Like, I hit,
oh my God.
And the guys were like, you caught air coming out of it. Like, it was like a motocross jump on the way out of that thing. It was so bad, and like... That was like front, back, bottom, scrape the frame on the ground type
You're
of hit.
Checking it afterwards.
Oh yeah, I pulled over. I pulled over right away and started looking. Hey, we got no leaks yet, so we'll drive it till it blows up. It's a Harley. It's going to happen.
Hey, maybe that's what happened to your engine.
Could be. Well, the easiest way to check the oil is to make sure it's still dripping on the ground. So.
Oh, is that it's a feature?
Yeah, it's a feature.
It's a feature.
No, actually, the new M8s they're not really bad on oil. The biggest thing with them right now is
unless it's Jim's bike.
Well, his is 107.
Yeah,
Mine's a 114. It's the newer. Like his, they had issues with the oil pump originally, and then it's the breather tubes, the EPA requirements. So they have to put a breather back into the intake.
See, I hate those. Like the CAFE laws ruined everything.
Yes, they did,
and it's caused so many issues along the way. So many things like.
So a lot of people do EPA stuff like vented dipsticks that, are not necessarily EPA compliant, and they can take you out of warranty. That's why my original dipstick's in it right now, because it just went in to have an oil change done. And the only reason, normally I do oil changes on all my stuff, and we'll move into a topic about working on cars and stuff here in a little bit. But I normally do all the maintenance on my vehicles myself. I've got a Harley warranty on there, and they're kind of picky about their warranty stuff.
And that's so stupid. The fact that would void your warranty. That's the thing that would void your warranty.
And I could get my oil changes for about half somewhere else. But do I want to fight that battle when my front piston went out? It was, hey, you're all Harley stock. And everything was the only thing that's not stock, that's not Harley on my bike is my bars and the extended cables.
But even then,
everything else
was
was
still a battle, though, wasn't it?
No, they fixed it free. The problem was it wasn't a battle of getting it fixed. It was a battle of
Oh,
getting parts.
Oh yeah.
Because that was during COVID.
Yeah.
So it was the end of COVID, so there was no parts availability. And it did get to the point where I walked in and said, are they building new 114s? He's like, yeah, why? I said, then you've got
Throw a new one
parts.
in there.
Give them a call. And they ended up calling them and saying, hey, listen, we need these parts like now.
Yeah.
This guy's been waiting for 2 months for engine parts.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting them to him, and it was put together in like 2 days. So I mean, it wasn't bad once I finally got like I got a little upset about it. Went in there, but like I know they're still building 114 motors, so there's somewhere that has parts for this. If you have to call Harley headquarters and say I need the parts, just get me parts for the damn bike.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that's cars, that's everything. So when the engine went on my car during COVID, same thing. When the engine blew up on my GMC truck,
that was.
Same thing. It took me 3 months.
Moment, but
it was supposed to be 3 months for a motor, but Bob, who we've talked about before, Crazy Bob, he hooked me up. He got me an engine way quicker
than you would have anywhere
than
else.
I would have anywhere else. So I had it early December, which
so it was actually lucky too. Going on that.
It
little
blew up
story.
in the right spot.
It blew up in the right spot that we were.
if there's any right spot to blow up, that was it. We were close enough that my tow was free to his shop.
Yeah.
And I called him, and he was like, "Hey, bring it in. We'll take care of you." And he did. He did. My plan now, and I've talked to Bob already about it, is we're going to trade in my wife's Jeep and my truck in about 2 years.
Yeah.
And she's going to get a new Jeep Wrangler, and I'm going to get a new diesel 2500. So I'm going to up my game a little bit because I want to. That'll be my last vehicle that I'm going to need. They'll run forever for that because I don't put a lot of miles on my truck. When I'm not working, I'm not going to put a ton of miles on it, and I can retire in 4 years. So I'll have 2 years to get it paid off, and I'll get it paid off in 2 years.
Well,
maybe
we'll get.
I don't know.
Lucky
We'll see where the prices are. We'll see where the prices are. Well, right now, I would do it right now because they have a really nice Jeep down there right now. It's a highlighter yellow, and he loves that color, and I can't stand it.
Oh, jeez, that's.
But you have to.
Yep, I know. I got you.
But we were looking at the interest rates, and the interest rates, even with our credit being good, is just too high.
Yeah, it's insane. Interest rates are insane, and
you don't realize how much
prices.
it adds when I have a 3% interest on my truck right now, and that's good.
Yeah,
and like
that's actually really good.
Yeah,
considering.
And then you look at now, it's like 7%, 8%.
And that's a good interest rate right
and
now.
That's a good one right now.
That's
like
ridiculous.
It goes from like the difference in cost to you is huge.
Oh, absolutely. Especially like on a house, even.
Oh yeah.
Interest rates on houses are insane.
Yeah, I was going to
houses.
refi. I'm not refining anytime soon because the rates are too high.
Yeah, it's not
I only
worth
owe like $200K on my house,
well,
and it's worth well over that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I haven't bought a new house yet, because the prices are just insane. Interest rates are still insane. Like, and it's not insane because I guess before, back when what was it like
in the 80s?
70s,
It was like
80s,
9%, 12% for
was
a house.
a great rate.
Great rate.
Yeah. People were in the
But house
teens.
prices were $60,000 to $150,000.
Yeah. It makes,
So the
it makes
interest
a
on that is
difference.
when
Makes
your
a huge
house is
difference.
$400,000 and you have an interest rate that's 10% higher. That's an extra $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
And
it
interest.
Ends up turning into a lot of money.
No, it's not exactly that, but
No, but I mean, realistically, it turns into a lot of money you end up paying for a house that isn't that expensive.
exactly.
You end up paying 2, 3, 4 times the amount. So,
That's not a sponsor. I'm just drinking it because I'm needed it.
Yeah, it's
But
one
no,
of those
it's,
days.
the interest rates are kind of weird. Like that's, but we've talked about it. My bike will be paid off early this year, or early. I say this year, early 26. Her Jeep's paid off the same time,
Oh, there you go.
and we've got enough equity in my truck to at least make a little money on it. We're not going to make a fortune on my truck trading it in, but
at that point, it's just as long as you can kind of continue that payment.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, you push it out a little bit further, but then you have
But
something
she'll get
new that's going
herself
to be
whatever the crappy Jeep. I don't like Wranglers. They're cool.
I like
They're
the way
just-
they look, and they're very capable.
They drive like.
That too.
Oh,
that
whoops.
too. But
Man, you're going to be beeping me a lot today. It's been a rough morning.
It's going to be one of those days. But I like Jeeps. I don't like being inside a Jeep.
Yeah, they feel cramped.
Yeah. Well, especially for us, like we're bigger guys. They're definitely not made
Pumpkin.
pumpkins. Yeah. They're definitely not made for people like us.
Well, and then I explained to her too. I'm like, you have $40,000 worth of crap on your Jeep that we're not going to get a dime for.
Yeah, that's the only terrible part about doing
So I'm like,
aftermarket
if I were
things.
you, I would just keep your Jeep
Yeah,
for a little bit longer.
and and it's a good looking Jeep.
Yeah. And she doesn't
And-
put a ton of miles on it, so we
So
take my
that
truck
makes-
everywhere.
See, well, that's the other thing. If you get a diesel, which
They run
that-
forever.
that's a weird thing. So diesels,
Is now cheaper than regular gas.
well, that
here.
too, but diesel in general, they're trying to go away from diesel.
Yeah.
But it's such a awesome. I want to say a fuel system, but that's not.
Well,
really
I
the
had
right
I
word
had
for it.
my BMW 3 Series that was a 2-liter turbocharged diesel. I got 45 miles per gallon in it.
Yeah, see, that's amazing.
And I drove like an a-hole. And I got 45 miles per
That was
gallon.
the great thing. So remember Dieselgate? Mm-hmm. So I had one of those. I had
did
one
too.
of those Jettas.
I did as well.
They were awesome.
Yep.
That was part of the reason I loved that thing. So when I had test driven it,
Tons
I was
of power.
good power for what it is. It had good power, great fuel mileage, all that stuff.
And I had a manual.
Me too.
So much
I
fun.
did too. I had an SE. It had moonroof,
Yep.
leather interior, little screen in there, all that stuff.
Yep.
This was back 20. It was like a 2012. Holy crap! Thinking about it, that's a long time ago now.
It is now, yeah.
Thinking
But no,
about
I had a Dieselgate as well.
I honestly, I miss that car. I wish I wouldn't have got rid of it, but I
Yeah.
knew after they were going to do all the
I'm not
repairs,
gonna
all the
I'm
things
not gonna
for
mess
it.
with it.
Yeah, I knew, knowing how.
Well, they're gonna denut your power, which is the biggest
That
thing.
too.
And like, well, okay, so now you took away the best part, and I somehow I'm going to lose miles per gallon, but gain better emissions. Like, really, how does that really?
I don't even know
play
how
out.
that. Yeah, I don't even know how that would be beneficial.
Because
And honestly, you can't even find
they
them.
test emissions
Yeah.
at idle, not at speed.
So
So
then
if you put it at speed and it's getting 45 miles per gallon and you test the emissions at 45 miles per gallon, is it getting better? Is it not? I don't know. I don't know enough about those systems and how they test it to really make a educated opinion on it. But I know that my dad had one and he went
Yeah.
through and had them do the changes to it. And he's like, it drives like crap. And he traded it in.
Did he really?
He got rid
Okay,
of it.
so
He's like-
and that was the other part too, because I knew
Yeah.
they were going to have to retrofit stuff to it, and I was like, I don't want to start having electrical issues and this kind of issues and these kind of issues. And granted, I had only had that thing for a couple years, and since I was carpooling,
These mics pick up a lot.
missed.
Yeah.
No, but I only had that car for a few years, and I had already put 100 and some when I traded it in, or when they bought it back from me, because I didn't even trade it in. They bought it back from me. I had multiple cars at the time. I had 170,000 miles on that thing. Still in the original clutch, by the way.
Oh yeah, same. Mine was amazing.
Yeah.
I had no problems with mine. Mine ran. I had about 100,000 on it when I got rid of mine. Mine was like a 14, I think.
Oh,
Because then I got the 14 BMW diesel.
okay.
I got rid of that car, got the money from that, and bought a BMW diesel.
Oh, so yours was still pretty much brand new then.
Oh yeah,
If it was a 14 and you got another 4.
it was when I was here.
What year did they trade it?
It was 18.
What year did they buy them back? Was it
17 or 18, yeah.
No.
No, 16, 2016.
It was like 16. Yeah,
2016 is when
I
it
was
started. Well, 2015 is when Dieselgate started, I think, and then 16 they started buying them back.
Well,
But,
this is why we have Google
Yeah.
machines here. We
but I
can,
mean, I had mine tuned. I had a tuner on it. I mean, my
I didn't do
Volkswagen was a beast. It was very, very fast.
Well, that's awesome. Now I got to make adjustments to the camera.
Did you hit it?
I did tap it.
Always one guy.
Well, I'm sure we'll be fine there.
Yeah, it's a 360 camera. We'll adjust it.
That'll be fine. Let's see. Maybe I got to make adjustments to how I have this.
But
set up.
I know what they had to do is like they would take the ECUs out.
2015 began September 2015.
What
so
did I
it's
say?
Probably 16, 17. When
What did I say?
Oh yeah, you were right in that good area.
I said 2015, and then started buying them back in 16.
Yeah.
God, it's
So-
almost like I know stuff.
Almost. You make up most of the things, anyways.
Just 26.2% of them.
There you go.
But yeah, it's because what I did. Yeah, 20.2.5. But yeah, because I know in 2014 when I came here, when I moved here to this area, I traded in my Mustang GT convertible and got the diesel. the diesel Jetta because I was driving so far to work every day.
Yeah.
So I only had it for like a year.
I guarantee you I drove further. But
Oh, yeah.
luckily we were carpooling and stuff, but I still put a ton of miles on it.
Oh, yeah. We took
Insane.
mine everywhere.
But luckily, like I said, I was 165, 170, 170,000 miles, and I still had the original clutch in there.
Yeah, right about then, you're starting to look at timing belt or timing chains on those because
Yeah.
they had the timing chain. But on timing chains, clutches, all that
Honestly,
kind of stuff.
I think that's impressive. How many people do you know that can say they're on an original clutch with that many
remember
miles?
too, though, you were highway miles.
It is
mostly.
a lot of highway miles.
So once you're in your top gear, you're just in your top gear forever. You're not really burning out your clutch.
We were on a 2-lane highway. Had to pass a lot of people.
Yeah, but I mean, not anywhere near as like being in a city with that kind of miles.
Oh yeah. Well, I did. I mean, I still did drive it around a lot in the city.
Well, that's
because it did.
the big thing about Arizona is that's most of our miles are highway miles out here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
even
'cause
if it's a
because it's so
2-lane
spaced
road,
out.
you know.
Yeah, it's so spaced out
Yep.
out here. Unlike back east, I'm sure
Oh yeah.
it's like you go 20 minutes, you're
Well,
in
it
another,
depends.
you're in another city.
Yeah, a little town.
Yeah.
Depending on where on the back east, but yeah, there's little towns all over the coast down there in the East Coast. So
You're traveling in between cities
Yep.
is not as far as out
no,
here.
like out here, it's 2 hours to the next city, really.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, unless you consider all the little.
well, if you go from
metropolitan Tucson, that's really,
Tucson to Marana, it's still Tucson.
Yeah.
And then the next is going to be your Casa Grande, which is about 60 minutes an hour, give or
no,
take.
that one's about
45.
45. Well,
And
it
then
depends
and then
where you're
from
coming
there,
but
it's about an hour to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix is just
insane.
until California, basically.
Insane. So I lived up in Phoenix for a good while, and I loved the fact that I could go places and not ever get recognized by somebody. Because like you run into people in Tucson, you go around and you go to places and you just happen to run into random people you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just happen, and you can't just like go somewhere and not run into somebody.
Yep, exactly.
Or at least that's how it feels. Ooh, someone dying.
Yeah.
But that's how it feels. But
No,
that's
you're
one of the
right.
things I loved about it out there was you could go places and not ever get recognized. So I
Yeah.
could go sit down at a restaurant, have my dinner, have
Oh
my
yeah,
lunch,
it's
do
not
whatever.
uncommon for us to be.
And-
well, even you and I have been together, and like we're somewhere eating, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, I know that guy. Oh yeah, I know that guy and that guy. And it just-
Exactly.
but
So-
we all kind of haunt the same areas.
Yeah, that's probably that could be a big part of it. But out there, you could go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And if you really didn't want to, you wouldn't run into anybody you know.
Oh, exactly.
So I could go have dinner and just be, not run into anybody, not have to have that awkward conversation of, oh, I haven't seen you in so long, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So that part I did like. The part I hated was, well, multiple parts. Traffic. Traffic was terrible.
Hate traffic, period.
And then if you wanted to go anywhere, it was probably a 45-minute trip.
Yeah, and you might be going 10 miles.
Yeah. It was anywhere you wanted to go. It was pretty much 45 minutes.
Yeah,
And if you were going
which
from
is
one side
out
to
here.
Yeah.
Same thing out here. So and we're just kind of used
Well,
to
but
it.
you're going across town at that point.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're at least making.
If you're going
a
from
distance.
one side of
yeah,
town
you're
to
doing
the other
distance.
in Phoenix, you're talking about
Changed colors,
oh yeah, because it was
timing.
yes.
Okay, I just
So-
want to make sure you were aware.
So if
Don't
you're
want to
going
have you
across
not
town-
recorded again.
yeah, that's that
Technical
was-
difficulties.
one day we'll figure out our equipment properly.
No, we won't.
No, we really won't.
It's all right.
But yeah, going in Phoenix from one side of town to the other, if you're going from from the east side all the way to the west side, it's like a 2-hour trip.
Yeah,
It's like going from here to Phoenix.
yeah.
It's insane. And the amount of people out there, it's such a huge city.
Yeah. No,
So-
it's a pretty sprawling city.
That too.
It just keeps growing out and out and out and out and out. It's not really a city that grows up like New York, because we have all the space. There's space out
There's
there, so it's
space.
easy to move. It's easier to just spread it out.
Well, and I remember back in the day, I was probably elementary
2014.
school, middle school. Yeah, that would be back in the day for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is now.
But I was probably in elementary school, middle school, right around that time frame that they were like predicting. I remember it was like 2012 or 2020. By that year, Tucson and Phoenix, because of the growth, they would basically
Yep.
become into one.
Still hasn't happened.
Still never happened.
It's kind of like global warming. The ocean levels are going to rise.
No, it's pretty hot.
Well, we're in a garage. But I mean, people are still building on the coast, and the ice caps melting and all that hasn't raised the ocean at all yet.
No.
So, like, let's be honest.
Plymouth Rock. You never seen that?
No.
So there's like
the
a little
picture of,
memorial for Plymouth Rock. It's like this big rock, and it's
Yeah.
carved into, and it says Plymouth Rock. That's been there for how long?
Since the U.S. has been here.
But that
Yeah,
memorial's
the
been there
memorial,
for
yeah.
how long? And
Still
it's
there.
still above water.
Well, they said, I mean, banks wouldn't let you build a $20 million condo on the beach if they thought the water was going to come up over and destroy it.
But I mean, they're still going to get paid regardless, even if it did. If you think about it, insurance,
Bankruptcy.
But insurance.
You just declare bankruptcy. Then the bank doesn't get anything.
But I'm sure they'd still go after your homeowner's insurance because you.
Like a high-rise condo, a commercial place. No, they'll just
condo?
declare.
No,
They'll
yeah.
just
No, you're
declare
right.
bankruptcy and walk away from the building.
You're talking about condos, okay?
But even
we're
homes,
talking about
the
different-
same thing. They're only going to get X number of dollars because people when it's too expensive to rebuild, they'll just leave.
That is true.
Like, look at what happened with the 2008 bubble crash. How many people just walked
That was
away from homes
insane.
and just left them?
That was insane.
So, I mean, like, they wouldn't build all these investment properties on the beach if they thought they were going to be underwater in 100 years.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
No, you're right. But that brought me to thinking about one thing because it brought me back to
New England clam chowder?
remembering-
Is that the
Actually,
white
it's
or the
delicious.
red? Oh, I can't.
That's the white one. That's the white one.
I know the other one's Manhattan jam.
Yeah.
Jam.
Clam.
Clam.
Jam. I'm sure there's jam in Manhattan too. But it reminded me of the crazy things that jog your memory, that make you remember something from way
Oh,
back
yeah.
when.
Well, it's because we all suffer from long-term memory loss.
Remembering. But it's a crazy thing. It'll just be something really random, someone says, something random that you see.
A smell.
A smell. Those are crazy.
Yep.
When you're just like, oh, I'm a child. I'm a child again. You walk into a bakery.
Yeah. Yep. And you smell that like, oh, that smells like grandma's stuff.
Well, I never knew my grandma.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
You know your daddy.
I'm
It's
not
me.
sensitive. Really? Is that why I was blonde when I was little?
Yeah.
No, I really was, though.
Yeah.
I was blonde when I was little.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, right?
It's like my kid was born as a redhead, and I was like, what the heck? I called my mom. I'm like, hey, what happened? Like, there's no
How?
way. Like, I was all mad. She's like, idiot, you were born with red hair. I'm like, oh, I guess I can't be mad then.
Yeah. Little did you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember that. All I remember was it was warm. It was warm and wet where I was at, and all of a sudden it's scary and bright out. Warm, wet, and dark, and all of a sudden I was like, it's bright.
Is that every day that you wake? Oh no, wait, never mind. When you wake up, it's dark out, anyways.
No, it's evening. It's getting darker.
It's getting darker.
Yeah, I sleep during the day and awake at night.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yet somehow I have a phenomenal tan. It's because we
Probably-
ride the bikes.
There's that too. Yeah, that does. I hate that. I can't because of my tattoos. This is the weirdest thing. Because of my tattoos,
Can't get
they
tan.
get hot.
Yeah.
My tattoos get hot. And people think it's weird. People are like, "Oh yeah, it gets a little." Like when they have tattoos, they're like, "Yeah, it gets a
Yeah,
little bit hot."
Bob looked at you like you had 14 heads coming out of your forehead.
But then I've had people like touch my arms.
wow, that's hot.
And they're like, "Oh, that is really hot," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I'm just mutant or something.
know. You could
Maybe I
be.
just absorb things too much."
Probably an alien.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah. Board was a bad idea. I still like
The
it.
board was terrible.
I'm
but
getting better at it. I don't do it very often now. I'm not just
You're not just nonstop
hammering on
incessantly being on the board.
everything.
I mean, it is a good thing though. It does add to.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, so like those crazy things that jog your memory. Like I'll use a perfect example for that. My grandfather died, quite a few years ago now, but went to his funeral and was just, at the time I was doing police honor guards. So I had buried 40 or 50 different officers from all over the country, going to these honor guard things, doing training. And so we're doing all that kind of stuff. I went to his funeral and never really processed it.
Yeah,
And was just like, okay, yeah, another funeral.
because
Because it was work. It was just, I went into work mode and just dealt with it like that. Then one day I was driving to work, came around the corner of one of these roads, and all of a sudden I caught a smell. And I was like, just like,
it just hit you.
just like that. I'm like, that's my grandfather. And I had to pull over to the side of the road. I broke down. I was crying hysterically. Like I couldn't stop it myself.
But you finally were able to get it out.
Oh yeah, it was gone.
It
Like
finally
I
just-
called into work right away. It was like, guys, I can't make it.
No,
Like what's happening? I'm like,
not
nothing.
gonna-
I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I just turned around and went home, and it was just the smell. And I can't even explain to you what it is. Like I couldn't even say, oh, it was Old Spice.
Yeah.
No, it was just, it literally, as soon as it hit my nostrils, I was like, Dada, which was what we called our grandfather was Dada on that side. And I was like, it was literally like he was sitting in the car next to me. Like it was that heavy of a smell. Like that's him.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. So, I mean, was it him? I don't know. Like I do believe people can come back and say goodbye and all that. And we left on really good terms. Like we knew he was dying. So we were all there for him.
I mean, and
as he was going, but
that makes me think of there's this. I wouldn't say it's a phenomenon, but it's a belief, I guess, that people hold on. Give people that chance.
Yeah.
Because you've heard stories where it's like, oh, this person was 4 hours away.
Yep.
All this stuff, and they were able to make it, say their last goodbyes.
Well, he held on. Severe cancer. He held on until I got back from Arizona. My cousin got back from Texas. So we all flew in.
Yeah.
And the day he saw us all. So we all saw him in the afternoon. We all went home. And I was kind of preparing, like, I'm going to have to come back very soon.
Yeah.
And so I was getting ready to prepare with work, and we got a call at midnight. And my aunt said, he's gone now. But he had literally waited until he saw all of us.
See, that's awesome.
Yep. So we were all able to say our final goodbyes. He wasn't able to talk at the time, like he had lost the ability to speak, and but we, it was phenomenal because we were able to get back in time to say goodbye.
See, that's
so.
And
I
that's
mean,
kind of what matters, and it's
which
not
makes
even,
me weirded out by the fact that I would see I seriously was like, he's in the car. Like that's what I really thought. Like, is he in the car? Like I actually looked around in the car, looked in the mirror. It was like one of those weird things. Like, is he here?
And it took you back to
it took me back to
a
it,
certain time,
and then I was like, okay, well, and that's when it just all of a sudden the waterworks hit, and it's like I couldn't control it. It just kind of.
And sometimes it just is.
And I think the only thing I could think is that maybe he came back to, it's okay, you can let go now.
Yeah,
and that's all I can think. He's like, I understand what you're dealing with, and
what you did.
And you were being strong for everybody else. It's okay. And that's where, I mean, it was just, but I think that's what I needed at the time. Like I had been stressing out about it, and, I didn't really say goodbye. And so all the time afterwards, once you get back after, you're strong for everybody, and, and I'm sitting there and I don't think I'd ever dealt with it. And then that was my way of dealing, and it was good. And then after that, it was just like, okay, I'm better now.
And that's the thing. People are able to deal with things differently. They deal with things differently. And there's some people that are like, I can't believe you don't care about that person enough to deal with it, or to be just hysterical. And it's like, people deal with things differently.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. Because like for me, like this is why I got this as a memorial for my nephew.
Yep.
My nephew was like my little brother. And I have moments, there's little things, especially like Mustangs. He loved Mustangs. So me and him would always argue about, the Mustang's
Camaro
better.
versus Mustang. Yeah.
Camaro versus Mustang, because I had a Camaro.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Did you fluff up your chest hair and wear gold chains and everything?
All of it. Only when I was in that car, though. Although I don't have a lot of chest hair, so I'm not a super hairy person.
You drew it on.
Yeah.
Drew it on with a Sharpie.
Just for that.
No, I like both of them, but yeah. So
me too. But it was
a good
still
argument. It was just
it was still
that
just a
picking.
thing. Yeah, just to pick at each other. We did that all the time. So like, there's certain things I think just the other day, and it wasn't even like you said, smell.
Yeah.
To me, it was I saw. So he had gotten a 2000 GT Mustang from his grandfather.
4.6 liter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was like his car. He loved it. We worked on it. I helped him and stuff. And I saw one the other day, red, because it was a bright
Same
red.
color, yeah.
Yeah, same color, all that stuff. And I was just like, holy crap.
He loved that one,
It brought me back. And it was just a car driving down the road. and it brought me back to all these memories with him, all this stuff. Me and him, like I said, we had so many things we did together because he was like my little brother. We pretty much grew up together. I was 8.
Do you think that's why, like now, when people get older and they've worked for their lives and all that, and they go back and try to buy that car that they've always had or that they had memories? And I think that's a lot of why people go back and restore cars. Maybe not necessarily a full restoration, but like resto mods.
Yeah.
Get ones that are really nice.
Yes.
So that they can have that again. They can relive that time of their life, that great time of their life. I think that's a lot to do with why people do that rebuilding in resto mods and all that.
Plus, a lot of older cars were awesome. Were awesome.
We're getting. Unfortunately, we're getting into the years where it was like the late 70s were still okay. Early 80s, they started dropping off. Like they lost the cool value of the 70s cars. And
although there's the 80s Camaros.
Oh, the IROCs. I love the square headlight.
The IROCs only they were only a few years.
Yeah.
But it was essentially a Z28.
Same body, yeah.
But it's the same body style. That body style.
Exactly. I like that body style. I don't like the one after it.
The Catfish?
The first Catfish. I don't like.
Yeah, the second Catfish
like
I like better where it had the rounded headlights.
A little bit rounded, yeah.
Yeah, that one looks a lot better.
I didn't like the square headlight. That
one, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'd still get one of those.
Oh yeah, they're fun. They're fun to flog.
Fun, but I want an IROC. I want one of those, that body style. But
God, they were garbage though. well, you can make them fast. You can make them really nice,
but I mean, like for me, like you were saying, people go back to like a car they used to have and get it resto modded and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my '94 Dodge Spirit. Yeah.
See, I'm one of very few because I can guarantee you, there's not very many people in the world that can say they still own their first car, legitimate first car. Not I own the same one.
Yep, you do.
I own the same model. I legitimately still have my first car.
Technically, my first car was a 1969 Saab.
I didn't know Saab was that old.
Oh, yes. It was a 3-cylinder, 2-stroke auto injection.
2-stroke?
Yeah.
Really?
4-speed on the column.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a weird car. I drove everywhere you went. It had like a blue cloud behind it.
I bet you if you found one, you'd probably want to buy it and be like, no? No. Just for the memory of it?
No.
It was that bad.
I traded in and got, that's how I got my first, one of my first dirt bikes. When I got my WR200, I traded the car
for the engine.
WR200. But actually, the motorcycle probably had more horsepower. But I do have to say that Saab, great through the snow. There wasn't snow you could point it at that it couldn't make it through.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was little tiny skinny tires. No, front wheel drive.
Really?
In the 60s. Oh. So, like, it was a weird car. Like, you'd roll the window down instead of the whole window dropping. It pivoted from the front. So, like, the window would be halfway on the front and then all the way down on the back so you could put your arm out. It had standard seat belts.
Standard seat belts?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Seat belts were standard on that car.
Oh.
I think 69.
Okay, yeah.
69, that wasn't normal.
Standard. Because I'm over here thinking about like a standard car,
seat
like
belts.
a manual.
It had seat belts. That was not normal for them. That 69, that was an option.
Well, wasn't it? I think it was Volvo that invented the seatbelt.
Yes.
And then they didn't patent it just so that
people could use it because of safety. Yeah. But yeah, it was literally an oil injected 2-stroke, 3-cylinder, 4-speed on the column. It was a weird, quirky car. And the reason I got rid of it, like, there's no way to find parts for that thing.
Oh, yeah.
You had to custom make everything. And
well, even now, any Saab that's on the road, it's hard to find parts because they've been out of business for how long?
They're weird.
They made some amazing cars though too.
Oh, they did. The Saab 9.3 turbos were great.
They looked gorgeous too.
They looked almost like a Porsche a little bit.
Well, and they were jet inspired.
Yep.
And that was the whole thing for them.
Saab still has their air wing. I think they still do airplanes.
Really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
I think was it the Vigan or whatever like that is one of the Saab airframes.
Did not know that.
Is it Vulcan or Vigan? I'm trying to remember. I don't know, and it doesn't matter.
It's not a big deal.
But it was. I mean, you could tell it was aerospace inspired too. Like the steering wheel had like the what do you call it? The horn was like stainless steel and had the Saab airplane on it. Like it was a cool car. Not the coolest one to drive around it. Like you'd leave places.
Just the sound it's making.
And there's a blue cloud behind you because it's a 2-stroke, and it's like, oh god. You go get gas, you have to go in and get snowmobile oil and pour it in there. Yeah, it was an interesting car. It was an interesting car, but it got me into dirt bikes, and then I rode my dirt bike on the road even though I wasn't supposed to, but that's okay.
We don't do things we're not supposed to.
Well, I was young then. Statute of limitations is over.
That's true also.
So I mean,
most of the things we talk about
I'd get the town police chasing me around, and I'd just shoot off into a cornfield. Hear them yelling at me, "You son of a beep!" And then when I finally sold that bike, I was buying a new computer for college, and I was like, I can just sell the bike and get a new computer, because I was really into the computers and stuff back then. And I had it out for sale, and a police car pulls up, and I'm like, oh crap.
Oh no, they found
And
it.
he's like, he goes, hey, is this for sale? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, I know it's fast because you've outrun me a bunch of times. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
he's like, okay.
Must have been someone else.
And he's like, but will you take X number of dollars for it? And I said, yes, I will. He pulled out the went and said, hey, I'm going to go grab stuff. Can you hold it for me? I'm like, yeah, I'll put it back in the garage. You just come up to the house and ring the doorbell. And my dad answered the door. He goes, what'd my son do? And he goes, no, he's just selling me the bike. He's like, oh God, thank you, God.
Yeah.
So I sold the bike to him, and it was a great bike. It was a great dirt bike. It was fun. Little Yamaha WR200 two-stroke. So I had the tail light on it, the headlight on it. Mm-hmm. Didn't have turn signals, but I didn't care.
Hey,
when I rode it in the summer, I had ice studs and a set of tires for the winter, so I'd switch out the tire for the winter time to ride it. It was fun. I rode that thing all year round.
I bet.
Problem in the winter is it would overheat because snow would pack.
Oh.
The snow would pack into the radiator, and you couldn't get airflow through it. So you had to, if you went through some really deep snow, you'd have to stop and scrape it out. You could tell it was starting to get hot.
Yeah, you could feel it.
Oh God, you'd see it steaming. It would just start steaming because the radiator's so hot at that point, and you just scrape it open. But I got to the point where if it was more than if it was hitting the bottom of the pegs, I wouldn't go any farther than I'd switch over to the snowmobile.
Yeah.
So I had a snowmobile too.
Oh, snowmobiles are awesome.
They are, but dangerous.
I bet.
Because you can't see, if you're going through fields and stuff, if you don't know where the fence lines are, you hit a fence and it comes right up over the top of that thing. I've seen people's heads go.
Yeah,
it goes right up over.
Scary stuff.
Gone right underneath the helmet, takes your head right off. So, I mean, you got to know where you're at.
Yeah.
And most of the trails around the areas up there are groomed, so you just kind of ride the trails and it's safe.
And you're fine.
But I used to ride, I was hauling through a field one time, and we had just had snow the night before, so I'm going wide open across this field, and at the last second I could see the clumps in the snow. Well, the farmer had turned his field the day before, and so it clumps up, it was a kind of a warm day, and it clumped up, and then the clumps froze, and I hit that at about 60. And when I hit it, I landed, I'm like, okay, that wasn't too bad, and I saw the ski sliding by, ripped the ski right off the sled.
Holy crap.
So I got home as I jammed the ski in the side of the tunnel of the snowmobile and stood on the other side and drove all the way home on one ski.
Oof.
Yeah, it was a long ride home. Oh, God, it took forever. I got home and my parents were not exactly happy.
I was about to say, I guarantee you they weren't happy about that.
But luckily, I was working at the time, so I just paid.
Oh, so you were
repaired
able to
it
cover the cost.
Yeah, I repaired it myself. So
well, there you go, able to do something.
Yep. But so we're talking about stuff. It's a good time for us to mention our sponsors as always.
And we want to thank one of our founding sponsors, the Legion of St. Michael Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, founded in 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, by the Chicago Police Department.
They have many chapters throughout the United States and international. We are part of the Tucson chapter, and Eric is actually national president, and he got to go visit our international brothers down in Italy.
And moved on and saw some friends that we met in Italy and Qatar. But we're a 501c3 charitable organization that focuses on law enforcement and first responder families in their times of need, whether it be a death, financial issue. We're there to help support our brothers and sisters in blue.
Yep. Anything they need or their families need, we usually try to help out anything we can, any way we can, financially, or even if it's just moral support, being there for them, being able to help them out with anything they need or we can do for them.
So if you're interested in donating to the Legion of St. Michael, reach out to any of the chapters through us, through our many social media profiles that we have set up.
Being Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, YouTube, or Rumble. Any one of those you can reach out to us, or you can reach out to us on our email, bikesmikesandidiots@gmail.com, and we'll try to get back to you as quickly as we can so you can help us out and do whatever you can.
And once again, thank you to Legion of St. Michael as a founding member. And once again, on Bikes, Mikes, and Idiots, we want to thank one of our founding sponsors, Sketchy Alias. He's a freelance graphic designer from Arizona who specializes in vector-based artwork. I'm an idiot. I don't know what that means, but it's really cool. He's been working on design for over 15 years and has worked in everything from logos, apparel, design, and social media. He's made a phenomenal logo for us, and he is, like I said, one of our founding sponsors.
And that can actually take us into, or back to that original topic of what jogs your memory and stuff that brings you back. Because
for me, it was looking at the sticker out there. I was like, oh, yeah, we haven't talked about our sponsors yet. Yeah. We got to do
luckily
that.
We have stickers. And you guys can check out their stickers. There's stickers for everybody on them. No, but like I was saying with my nephew, that there's little things that brought me back. Even when we're out golfing, I've fallen out of the golf cart.
Yes, you have.
Well, and so one of them, it had nothing to do with, the beverages we were drinking. It just had to do, it legitimately, this one didn't. We're coming around, my buddies, and I'm going out to reach for my ball because I think we were playing a scramble.
Yeah.
And I go out to reach for my ball out of the golf cart. But instead of him straightening out, he keeps turning.
Oh.
So I reached out.
All your
he's
weight
still
just
turning.
pushed to the outside.
And I was like, oh, he's laughing. I'm laughing. He's like, are you all right? And I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I just rolled.
Yep.
Rolled
Tuck
out.
and roll, baby. Did you come up with a ball at least?
Yes.
That's what
I did.
Yeah.
Like,
you do your touchdown, you spike it in the fairway real quick, and then run to the cart.
Well, luckily, we were the only two that saw it.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's good.
But you know how that goes.
Oh, yes, I
Definitely
do.
everybody heard about it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I may have brought it up a couple times too.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, that's funny.
Yeah, it was
But
as long as no one got hurt.
But you're right. Those things, those little things that pop up and bring you, like, I've even been sitting at the house and talking to the kids, and I say something, and my, the wife looks over me and goes, "You sound like your father." I was like, "Oh, damn, I did." And then it's like, "Oh yeah, I totally did." Oh my God, how did that happen? Because I was like, no matter what you do, I was like, I swore I'm never going to do that
Never
stuff
gonna
that
do
he
that.
does. And I'm totally like him. I can't help it. I mess with my kids just like he messed with us, and
And
it's fun.
It's
though.
not even just that. You want to bring up your kids right. And
Yeah.
obviously, we've done well for ourselves. We're not terrible people.
No, depends who you talk to.
Yeah. I mean,
Generally,
granted,
we're not bad
Generally,
people.
we're not terrible people. So those little things come out.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
that happened to me.
Yeah.
That was a good moment to bring to my kids. And I definitely done the same thing.
Oh yeah, it just happens.
And that's something I think most people don't really realize. I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, they want to be friends with their kids first.
No, you can't be.
They want to be friends with their kids
Well,
first.
And my
That's
parents,
like their main.
my parents have given me crap about disciplining my kids in front of them, and I'm like, if I had done that, you'd have done it 10 times worse.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it. And then now my parents are like, well, your kids are so well behaved. I'm like, yeah, because I whooped them when they needed to be whooped, and I consoled them when they needed to be consoled.
Yes.
Like there's a time and a place. There's a difference between disciplining and abusing.
Yes, absolutely.
And now it can be a very fine line.
Yes.
I've probably walked that line pretty damn close before. Because sometimes even as a parent, it's hard to get your emotion out of it when they do something that's crazy that you
get
and everybody
emotional,
has
right?
that. Like
That
I had
switch.
one time. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but it just hit that spot, and it was one of those where he was lucky his mother was there and said, "Hey,"
Just kind
and
of.
I just right before I got to him,
Yeah.
she realized, she was like, "No, you just need to chill." And I'm like, "Okay." Like I thank you for snapping me out of it. And and he told me later on, he's like, "Dad, I've never seen you mad."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I knew as soon as I talked back to you on that one,
That was.
it was not the right thing."
But
And he's like, "You went into a mode." Like, he's like, "I haven't seen that before." Like your eyes went.
it's good for kids to like have that healthy fear of their parents.
Oh, absolutely. He's still because he's so big. Like
Yeah. Oh,
my wife tells him all the time, "Oh, you could take him, you could take him." And his response has always been, he survived in a job where people have tried to kill him for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with him.
Yeah. And
He's like, it's not, because he's going to do something to me and he's going to hurt me. If we really start getting into that and he thinks he's losing, he's going to hurt me.
yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. I am. I will assert dominance over you
Because
until I cannot.
We've been in a job to where you have to.
You have to win. It's
you
in
have
our
to win.
brains.
It's
I
not
can't lose.
It's not a matter of this person can beat me. It's I'm going to win regardless, whatever I have to do.
I've always told my family that if I have to chew somebody's throat out to get home, if I have to go full zombie and chew out their jugular vein to get home to my family, I will do that. If it gets to that point where they're going to kill me or I'm going to kill them, they're dead.
And
I'm going to make it home to my family, period.
Yes, because that's a actual thing that we do have to deal with.
Well, and we talk to people, what's the number one job of law enforcement officers?
To get
And
home to
you
your family.
hear protect and serve, to serve the community. It's to get home to your family.
Yeah. If you ask actual law enforcement, they'll tell you that it's to get home
it's
to
to
my
get
family.
home to my family.
Yes, that is.
The other
that
stuff
our
is
job.
ancillary.
Yes.
I
there you
mean,
go.
yes, we do protect and serve. We do all that other stuff, but I'm going home to my family. I'm a regular human being. I'm not like, I hear whenever there's things that happen and they're like, oh, well, the cop, the cop died. I don't know why they care. He's just doing his job. He knew that job. Yeah, I knew it's dangerous. That doesn't mean I should die.
Exactly.
Being a truck driver is dangerous. Oh, well, he got into an accident. Well, he's just a truck driver. Who cares? He knew it was dangerous. Like that. That's an idiotic response to stuff.
Yeah. Because we are just normal people.
Yes.
We really just are. But we're trying to serve a higher calling,
Yes.
so to say.
And if that means that I go, and that's what happens to me, if I have to go because that's what God tells me is going to happen,
Yep.
and I don't make it back, they're going to know I did everything that I could do to get back to them, and it's my time. It's just my time.
Yeah.
But I will fight tooth and nail to get back to them every time.
Absolutely.
And if I go, so be it. Celebrate me, don't celebrate me. I don't care. I knew that was something that could happen to me when I joined this profession.
Mm-hmm.
And if it happens, it happens. But I obviously don't want it to happen. I want to enjoy my retirement. I worked 24 years. I got a year left. I want to enjoy my retirement a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the same time too, you don't want to end up being that person that didn't enjoy yourself along the way. Too.
Exactly. You've got to have fun at your job. Like
Well, not even just at your job, but just along the way while you can. This is a thing that I've said for a long time, since I was like a teenager.
so 3 days ago.
Yes, I wish.
Yeah, right.
But
I'd make a lot of different decisions on some things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I've said it since I was like a teenager that you have to. It's great to save up and be able to enjoy your retirement and have, let's say, millions of dollars because you saved up that well while you were working. But I think you need to be able to enjoy things while you can, because who's to say that you're going to be able to enjoy those
if you invest
things?
early enough, if you invest, I think it's like $150 a check, or it's $300 a month or whatever, from age 18 to age 26, and then you stop investing that money. If you have it in a good money market account, you will have over $1 million at age 60.
Which at this point, $1 million isn't what it used to be.
No, but it's still enough for me to live.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
I'd still live comfortably.
But I mean, but that's only off a small investment.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you look at it, and a lot of people get jobs that don't have a retirement, that don't have. So we're lucky. We're in a job that does have that.
Yes.
But we sacrifice a lot along the way for that. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
definitely.
I can't tell you how many birthdays I've missed, how many holidays I've missed with family, how many
Certain things you just can't make it to.
travel that I didn't have a choice on. Like, hey, you're traveling,
Yeah.
and you go and you're gone for 6 months, and then you come back. And I mean, it's our position in some ways is very similar to the military.
Yes.
It's not the same. We go, but we do get orders to go places. Like, hey,
Yep.
this place needs help. You're going,
You
and
need
they
to
ship
go.
you,
Yep.
and you're out, and you're away from your family for that time. And those sacrifices that are made, like.
It's so that you can enjoy yourself when you do
Yes.
retire. But like I said, since I was a teenager, I've always said it because my cousin's quite a bit older than me. But I told him, because he would always tell me like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, that, and the other. He's like, that way I can have a big nest egg when I retire. And I was like, but
enjoy a little bit of it on the
are
way.
you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing along the way? You're planning just for the end.
Yeah.
What are you doing along the way? And I think, you know, after he ended up having grandkids and stuff like that, he started to enjoy himself a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think it finally resonated with him of like, you need to enjoy it while you can, because like I never expected. I was in my 20s when I had my first surgery because of work.
Yep.
And it's impacted me a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like now I'm basically a weatherman.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can tell you when it's going to rain.
Oh, I like was that one day we were like, oh, it's going to rain. No, it's not. There's no rain forecasted. 20 minutes later, it's raining.
So
And then my
weatherman.
window just got destroyed.
Yeah.
That was at Bike Week.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where it's, you can't plan for it, but you got to enjoy it while you can. Well,
Yeah,
you
I mean-
physically can, because you never know.
Well, and-
oh, hey, I'm going to plan for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this when I get older. I'm going to do this when I retire. I'm going to be able to do X, Y, Z things. What if you're not physically able to at that
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
You know?
And that
that's
happens to a lot of our military members who go in, they get hurt, they get shrapnel, they get shot, they lose a limb. So, I mean,
And it doesn't even have to go into, yes.
Yeah, but like
granted,
back problems and stuff like
love,
that, yeah.
We love the military. We love our fellow brothers in law enforcement, everything like that. But even in normal jobs,
yeah.
because it doesn't even have to be, you could be in an office job, but you get in a terrible accident for
Yep.
whatever reason while you're young because, you know, you had to travel for work,
Yeah.
whatever it could be. You still could end up to where you can't actually do those things you wanted
Shoot.
to do.
I had a day I was walking down the stairs here in the house and thought I was in the bottom stair and missed a step and face planted into the wall. I don't know how I didn't break my neck. The only reason I didn't break my neck is because it's so friggin' big.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I face planted into the wall and the wife was like, oh my God. She's like, I really thought, like, that's all it takes.
Oh, yeah.
Life can be over that quick. So
Well, look at,
I love that we've
Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves. Well, look at the guy who played Chekhov in the new Star Treks.
Mm-hmm.
He got out because the gate in his house was jammed up, so he got out of his Jeep to move it, and then the Jeep rolled forward and killed him.
yeah. It can be anything.
It can be anything. So that's why I like we ride motorcycles, we go and do stuff. So we're enjoying life. Yeah, we're saving a little bit here and there, and like my retirement will be good. I will be able to live comfortably on my retirement. I made some sacrifices monetarily.
Yeah.
You know, here I don't do as much as I would love to, but now that I'm towards the end of my career, I have. Like I've started traveling. I've done the Maldives, Qatar, Italy, you know, traveling every year to a different location for our national events.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm doing stuff.
You're starting to do a little bit more now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing,
it doesn't
too.
hurt that I got, you know, one of the kids is just about out of school. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So there you
and
go.
he eats a
It is.
lot. Once I get him off, my grocery bill is going to get cut in half.
He eats more than you do.
Oh God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. I can just imagine.
Yeah, it's like $300 a month just in supplements for that kid.
Yeah, that's crazy. But it's a thing where you got to be responsible too.
Yeah.
It goes back to the whole my favorite word, YOLO.
Yodo.
It doesn't mean go and do everything and just be crazy and
Yeah.
live paycheck to paycheck. If you know, it means I mean more just enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
Don't be unreasonable with it. Go have a vacation here and there. Go do, you know, a trip you wanted to do.
Yep.
Go zip lining.
Yeah,
go
don't
bungee
wait.
jumping,
Don't wait
go-
until you're 60
Yeah.
and you can't do it anymore because your back, your health isn't good enough. You're like a friend of mine who had kidney failure and had to get, you know, new kidneys and all that other stuff. Like there's so many things that can slow you down as you get older.
Absolutely.
Enjoy, you know, don't go super crazy. Enjoy some of life while you're living.
Yes. Because you have to live.
Yeah.
You live life.
So basically, you know, with that, you know, we're talking about retirement, and I think it's about time. So we're going to retire this podcast for the week. How do you like that movement? Oh, we're
That
going
was
to
a good
retire
one.
it off.
That was actually a good one. So if you want to take us out here, then
All right. Well, as always, guys,
live good.
live good. Oh,
Well, I thought
okay.
you were-
You lead. You go ahead.
Okay. Live good.
Ride hard.
We'll catch you next time.